Hi, welcome to my latest video. Tonight I'm going to do a very quick video looking at my roof rack side amber strobe light bars. I've put up some photos recently on Instagram showing flashing strobe lights on the side of my roof rack and also downlighters shining with a solid orange light down at the side of the car to illuminate the ground next to the car, which I used very successfully when I was camping in Cornwall, and they just gave a nice sort of ambient glow on the ground next to the car. I've also recently been volunteering with the Hampshire and Berkshire 4x4 response group. We marshalled a 10k 10-kilometre charity moonlit walk for the St Michael's Hospice. Okay, that was 2 weeks ago, and I got to use these strobe lights on the side of the car. They just gave additional visibility to the side because I've got the front and rear strobes. Let's just turn those on quickly just so you can be reminded as to what I've got on the front and rear. Okay, so up here we've got a orange light, so we've got two at the front, two at the back, and we've also got work lights as well, which I will show you those. Put the work lights on, so we've got some white work lights, okay, which are not doing that much with the boot open, although they do actually shine through the glass, which is quite nice. But the idea is that they illuminate behind the car should I be towing somebody or needing to read a map on the bonnet of the Land Rover behind me like I was the other night. Those lights are great, but for anybody approaching from the side, there's just nothing on the side of the car really. I mean, I can put the hazards on and the repeaters on the grille will flash, but I could really do with a sort of a long light bar on the side of the roof, which, wouldn't it be great if it doubled up as a kind of a floodlight, so it sort of lights up the ground when it's in solid mode as opposed to flashing. So what I did was I bought these light bars. They're about, about 40 centimeters long, and they're made up of 4 quad LED sort of modules. You can probably get shorter or longer. It looks like they would stack these up to make whatever length you need. Bought these on Amazon. The seller, I think, was called Root King, or the brand is Root King, and they have a sort of like a plug-in sort of cigarette lighter plug-in thing here. So there's an on-off switch, but there's also a switch for like a momentary switch for changing the mode, and there's in excess of 30 modes, I think, different flashing patterns. You can have sort of alternating flashing, or all flashing at once, or one of the modes is just fully on. Okay, so what I did is I 3D printed some brackets like these. Okay, I deliberately put 2 holes there so that the light can pivot downwards. Okay, so this bolt here would be, if it was screwed into there, it would line up with the light like that, so it shines downwards at about a kind of a 45 degree. Okay, now what I'll do shortly, it is getting dark now, there's a reason why I'm out here in the gloom of the October evening. Although it has been a lovely sunny day today, it does get dark quite early now. It's only about 6:30 and it's starting to get dark. So what I'm going to do is attach these to the car, and then I can actually put them on in sort of flashing mode as side strobes pointing sort of straight out, kind of straight out sideways. but I can also angle them downwards and put them on solid, just so you can kind of see what sort of effect it has when they're shining, like a sort of ambient downlighters, or awning lights, I think is what they're technically known as. Yeah, I'll try to show you both of those. So these brackets, first of all, I've 3D printed them. Hopefully you can see these. It is getting a bit dark now. But I've gone for a kind of a clip at the bottom. These are solid ABS printed, and the idea is that will clip kind of like, so that bit there goes up there and clips there. Now I may end up redesigning these with a kind of a clip at the top as well. The reason I didn't put the clip over the top is I just didn't want anything kind of on top of here that could get kind of caught by a tree branch or anything that's actually on the roof of the car. When I put sort of gear on the roof of the car, ratchet straps and things like that, and I just didn't really want any of this bracket pointing up higher than the top of the roof rack, because it's already high enough as it is. So the idea is that would locate like that and then just sort of snap in. Okay, let's see if I can, there you go. So that just clips in, and that is pretty solid there. And then you screw through for the putting the bolts in. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll reattach this to the lights, or to the one light that I took it off, and fit the lights back onto the roof rack of the car. They have one wire that kind of comes down to a cigarette light socket. For now, that is just going to be connected into the permanent live one behind the center console, and in the fullness of time I'm going to wire it in with my other strobes. But the problem there is, if I want to illuminate it in solid mode, I don't want the strobes flashing at the same time, so I need to have a bit of a think about the wiring. There will probably be a part 2 to this video showing the permanent wiring that I end up doing. Okay, but just for now, because it is getting quite dark, I'm just going to hurry up, get them clipped on, plug them in, turn them on, and so you can just sort of see what they look like. Okay, right, let's get that bracket off there. Can I even get that off there again? Oh, blimey, that is pretty solid. I'll have to get a step ladder and get up and pull that off, and then put that on here, get them clipped on. Okay, so I fitted the other one on the other side. I've just run the wire just across the roof rack bar for now, and then this one, the idea is that it just clips in. He says, come on, there we go, a little bit of a shove. It's a firm fit, but they're super easy to remove then, because you could just unclip and remove the whole thing. Not great for security, but really, is somebody really going to nick these? Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, really? If I want it to be easily removable, then it's easily stealable as well. So they weren't too expensive, these. I think it's £50 or something like that. So what I'm going to do here is just connect up the other. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that one disconnected for now, just so that light over there is not shining straight into the house and the neighbour's house. Okay, when I'm trying to flick through all the 30 odd modes that these things do. So I'm just going to leave the other one disconnected for now. This one here, I'm just going to run that down, and yeah, let's just pop that. Now, for now, it just has to be kind of just sort of trapped in the door seal there, which is not great, but it's a bodge job temporarily. So in here, let's plug. Now I wonder if this will reach to the boot, because it would be a lot easier if I could plug this in. Yeah, the wire is really long actually. Let's plug this in instead of my solar panel, which is clearly doing nothing at this time of night. Plug that in. Right, here we go. Let's close the door. Just watch the wire. Okay, I'll move the step ladder so that we so first of all we're going to do strobe modes. Okay, let's turn that on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go through these modes. That one's a sort of like oscillating. That is the mode that I had it set to for the moonlight walk. So I'm just going to flick through. We've got sort of all on. We'll go through, and then eventually I'll get to the fully on. Oh, that's quite nice. That's nice, like running lights. That's good, that. Oh, backwards. Okay. Yeah, so you've got every possible combination, really. Oh, look at that. Right, now, I don't think it actually has a mode that's off. It might do. Maybe the main strobes have got an off mode. One of the 30 is actually off, even though it's powered up. So if I was to fit two buttons somewhere, maybe on one of the little junction boxes, like weatherproof buttons on the junction boxes, then I could just reach up, press the modes, or run out a wire to a little hidden sort of tiny little box with a couple of buttons or switches on it. I could then press and set each set of strobes, the four ones on the corners, and separately set the lights on the sides, and that way I don't have to run more wires up the pillar to try and power these. I can just power all strobes with one power supply, and then have a couple of little buttons just hidden away up underneath the front of the roof rack for setting the modes. That is very, very bright actually when you're stood looking right into it. It's quite a narrow beam actually. God, that is, you just stood here, that is bright actually. And imagine that sort of flashing rapidly at you. There's no issues with visibility there. So if I'm parked across a road, so quite often the 4x4 response guys do sort of roadblocks basically at carnivals and things like that to stop terrorists and whoever trying to drive vehicles in. So we'll put a couple of Land Rovers across a road, and the problem there is if you've only got strobes at the front and back, nobody can really see you, especially after dark. So yeah, so that's pretty bright there. Actually, I'm going to try and do this without looking directly at it, because all I can see then is a big blob. So right, oh dear. Right, what I'm going to do, one good thing about these is it remembers the mode. So if I turn it, hang on, yeah, let's just pull it out, okay. Right, as I touch the switch thing, it waggled the connection. Right, I can actually see what I'm doing now, even though it's quite dark. So what I'm going to do is just loosen off the bolts, the little M4 bolts at the back. I mean, I fitted my own longer stainless bolts, but I'll just loosen that one and loosen this one. Okay. Now I might sort of replace these bolts with like nice little knurled thumb screw things. Right, so that turns now. You see, this is the beauty of it. You can actually tilt it, so it's like a downlighter. And then I've got to get that into the other hole, which is like that. Now, of course, it could end up having sort of like 3 or 4 different sort of angles of downlight. I've only got 2 at the moment. Is that even going in there? I don't know if that's 2. Oh, hang on, wrong. Right, there we go. Come on, get in there. There we go. Tighten that up. Right, okay, let's turn that on now, and hopefully it's remembered the sort of solid mode. Let's just plug it back in. There we go. There we go. So that's solid mood lighting. Okay, so it's quite nice. I mean, being an LED, it's not really going to drain the battery that much. I left these on for an hour or so when I was camping. No issues at all. So that could probably even go a little bit steeper actually, so it sort of lights right next to the car. But for camping, for working on the car in the dark, for recovery or anything where you're kind of standing around outside the car, off-roading, green laning, yeah, be really useful that. So yeah, okay, that's it. It's nearly dark. I hope that video was useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.